Now, like I pointed out too, right? John's now saying that Jesus from heaven is saying the opposite of what he said on the earth, right? From John 8 to Revelations 2, right? He talks about Jezebel, that prophetess. What, there's no prophetesses in the woman but in the Bible but Jezebel? No. There's two prophetesses. Well, really three if you count Miriam, right? You don't even want to count her. Because her and Aaron said something bad about the Ethiopian woman Moses married, right? Who was his wife. I think her name was Jochebed. Something like that. But anyway. He married this Ethiopian woman, and the Lord got kind of upset with him about that, right? Because they're being racist towards the being who's starting their religion, right? Now that's because he said, though, in a way, you can't marry outside of the Jewish people. Well, who did he marry? The priest of Midian's daughter, right? He married someone who was a priesthood himself, right? So a priest can't marry a priest's daughter. Was it her father Jethro? I mean, talk about a throwback name to African American. Jethro. Not talking about Leroy Jethro Gibbs on the NCIS either. But Jethro was Moses' father-in-law's name, and he was the priest of Midian, right? So his daughter would be the daughter of a priest, right? Right. That's why Moses married her, idiot. And then the Lord gets all pissed off with Aaron and Miriam, both of them now. But Miriam gets struck with leprosy, right? But not Aaron. Why? Aaron's still in also the priesthood, right? Now, a funny thing happened, though, I know. After Miriam struck dead, right? I mean, with leprosy, right? And they have to wait and pray to the Lord to fix the situation, and he does. Lord's a just Lord. And he will also forgive you your trespasses if you repent. You don't see that right there? Mm-hmm. But then it's Aaron's turn, right? Now, he's about to do, he goes a little bit further himself too, right? Now, Miriam dies first, I think, and then Aaron, right? Shortly thereafter, if you keep reading, right? Now, Aaron is fine until he takes off his priestly garment, right? And then he just falls flat, like a pancake. So was Moses, right? His eye was not dim until he wrote the end of his book and told them what to do with him, right? And once he wrote the end of his book, he died, too, right? Don't you find the power of life and death is in the tongue, even Moses' own tongue? Against even his own family a little bit there. Though one prophet says, I sent unto you Moses, Aaron, and Miriam. Moses is born under a curse that the male children are to be, what? Thrown into the river and drowned, right? By the midwives, right? And any daughter can be left alive, right? Well, last time I checked, unless, Pharaoh's daughter is dumb as dirt, I don't think she is. If you find a child and you bring him in from the Nile, which is where you have to buy the damn babies anyway, you get that. And somehow the baby is in the basket. And for some reason, you know he's either a male or both, right? See, the only way to break Pharaoh's law is if you're female, right? What do I mean by that? Well, if the baby's half male and half female, that law is broken. What do I mean? Well, if you can't kill the male side and separate it from the female side, and like Solomon pointed out, you can't cut a baby in half once it's born. Right? Like with the two women who are arguing about which one smothered their baby that night, right? Well, a true mother will do anything to save her son, right? But at the same time, right, there's a decree that any child born to a Hebrew woman, right, if it's male, regardless of the parentage, right, which should be a Jewish being, right? She was married to somebody, right? I know. Right. And maybe I'm getting the names confused. Maybe that was Moses' mother, too. I don't know. I don't remember everything. Right off the top of the head right now, right? So I do remember Jethro is his father-in-law's name. And he's the priest of Midian. So he married into a priestly family, right? Now, a priestess, right, according to Hebrew tradition, would be a Kohanah, with an H at the end, right? Just as a prophetess, and I forgot the word for it off the top of my head, or a Sar and Sarah, no. One is the masculine for prince, and one is the feminine for princess, right? So it could be Sarhi or Sarhi, right? Without a Y. Though she was Sarah without an H. Why did Moses do that? Why did he, with one point, leave her Sarai with a Y at the end, and then change it to Sarah with an H at the end? And why not like he, Esarel, which is Elelhy, YSR Aleph Lamed or L. Why didn't he just go ahead and make it he? Sarhi. Is he tempting you or testing you with princess? Which word is really princess? Is it Sarai or Sar Ah? Or Sarhi with a Y? If who is he? In other words, he is she. Oh, did I say that? He is she in the Hebrew, right? Who is he in the Hebrew, right? Who are you? Who are you? It's like saying he is you, he is you. Well, who is he and he is who, right? Who's on first? He. Oh, he's on first. So you get why that joke kind of ends there? It's a Hebrew joke about who he is. I know. On first base. I know. See, the who means he's on first base, right? What? He's on third. He's on third. It is. Is neither male nor female, Jew nor Gentile, bond nor free. Right. For it is the image of a spirit made without conception of a sperm with an egg, but as an adult, but as both. If I'm going to start the human race and I want it to be a pure seed, right, I bring an adult in, right? Not something born from me per se, but as if I were to become human, right? What I would want that form to be, right? both and then two. Both and then two. Why do I do that? For godly seed. If I make you as an adult person, right, without spot, wrinkle, or blemish, before the fall, by the way, then you get all kind of wrinkling, and you get all kind of ugly, and then you get all kind of bullshit, right? Then you lose your hair and all that. Well, guess who's that is really related to? The death of Satan, right? See, one is the tree of life, and one is the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, that if you eat it thereof, and the day you eat thereof, you will surely die. Right? Well, Adam still lived 930 years after he ate, right? That don't sound like a day to me, right? Unless there's a different concept when the Lord said a day. Well, like I keep saying, 1,000 years is as a day. At least that's what Moses and Peter said, right? Moses in Psalms 90 verse 4, and Peter in one or two of his little book. Read it if you don't want to believe me. But it's in there somewhere, I bet. And the Lord ain't slack concerning his promises, he says, right? Now, the problem is, John talks about 10 days of tribulation. And what you also don't know is how long is the day to the Lord. So again, we go with the 24-hour concept to 24,000 years, right? That would fit with about how long God would have to terraform the earth, you know that, in about 124,000 years, right? Well, at the end of day 7, within the 70 years, we're sitting with Satan, right? So since the fall, or the world began, right, by the way, of Satan's control over us, right, which is called the tribulation period, 70 years before also Adam sinned and then died 930 years later, which makes 1,000 years, right? 70 plus 930 is 1,000, right? So he died a day later. Or was it an hour later? All you know is in that day he's going to die. That still don't mean that day is over yet either. Now, if I take a day in this 24 hours to both God and me, right? Yet my hour is shorter, and my day is shorter, right? Like the sun takes 30 days to rotate, right? On its axis. But guess how long that is to the sun? A solar day, right? If the sun takes 30 days to rotate on its axis, that day is not complete until it is back where it began, right? So that's a solar day compared to the Earth's day, which for us is 24 hours, right? Well, if it takes the sun 30 days to rotate, that means it's rotating too, like the Earth is on its axis, right? If you rotate on the axis, right, and you get back to that point, right, that's your day. That's your day. For the sun. Now, if it's 1,000 years in the first heaven, or longer as a day, and there's, John mentions half an hour in heaven. How long is that half an hour in heaven? So there will be silence in heaven for about the span of half an hour, right? Well, that depends on what an hour is to God in heaven, right? Is an hour 1,000 years? Or is it an hour like in the earth? Well, if the hours is 1,000 years, that half a day could be 500 years, right? To the earth. And also 500 years in heaven, right? That don't mean, okay, you get to make it a 24-hour earth day, dummy. That means comparatively, the day one, when whatever light source there is, from heaven all the way to the universe, came into existence, which the scientists call it the Big Bang, right? When all the matter in the universe shundered, when the spirit from the first realm, right, created all the stars, the celestial beings, right? Both in the second heaven and to the earth, right? And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the surface of the deep. And the waters and the Spirit of God hovered above the waters on the planet, right? Now, if we keep, again, replenishing it, God and his angels, right? We keep what? Destroying it. Right. But Isaiah talks about world without end. Earth without end, right? In Isaiah 45 or somewhere around there, right? Read your whole Bible now. No, you're not reading the whole Bible. Now, if we got 10,000 more years, though, or 4 technically, is that the day in half minus 2? Possibly. Don't that make some sense? I know it does. Too much sense, maybe? But if I'm the only one telling the truth, what does that mean? Really? You're lying. You don't have to know you're in a lie to be lying about something, right? And Sarah again, right, is tempting the Lord. I'm with her when I black out. I never blacked out with Teresa, right? Unless it's late at night and she's trying to sneak into my bedroom or something. Right? And fuck me and then go back into the couch. But if she's doing that, could Audrette have done that? Or I don't know either. Now, the thing is, though, if you want to sneak over at my house, the best thing to do is knock on my back window, and then I'll go see who it is. And Amanda did that a few times, right? Though she did it recently, I don't think. Right? But again, if she shows up with her friend, I ain't going to even let her in there something, right? I'm not here to be her side boyfriend, right? I told her, either you want to be my girlfriend or you don't. They don't want you over here because you brought a man over here in the first place. You can't bring another man over here, idiot. And they even want, then you want me back, right? You're just doing the same thing with Mike. Except with this guy, right? And that's because you know I won't make a move on you if you bring a guy over here. And there again, that means you don't really like me that way. And there again, that means you just want another place to stay for free, and I can't do that for you anymore. You're two-faced. Cockamamie bitch. Excuse my French there, YouTube. But you're the bitch too. You're the bitch too. At least Teresa acts like she wanted to be around my ass, right? Whatever she's doing with me. And I'm trying to help her out, get back on her feet for a while there, right? And once I help her as much as I can help her, I have to let her go, right? Now, Miss Sarah's already married. She's got a husband, right? That's why I'm charging her to take her around. I'm not her husband, right? I'm her next door neighbor who she's interrupted my day with to get something she needs, right? When I need to be at home resting off my back because it hurts when I go out. And I bet everybody knows I'm sitting there waiting for her, who know me already, right? And they also know I'm probably hurting. They also probably, the girls at least, want to take me to the bathroom and make sure I'm all right. And then I'm there again waiting for her but for another hour again. Right? When we get to damn Home Depot, right, and I give her about 10 minutes to get whatever she needs, right? And I go to get I get something to drink, I know, and a Slim Jim, right? Because I done ate at a little bit after 1, right? Well, by then I'm thirsty again, right? So I get me a Mellow Yellow and a Slim Jim, right? Because I was feeling like something meaty, I guess, right? Sip it to a Slim Jim. That's right, baby. Sip it to a Slim Jim. Ow. So anyway, right, I go home, right? Well, we go to the Home Depot, And like I said, when I got my food, it was only 12, right? 5 to 12, right? 5 to 1, 5 to 1. I gave her an hour after I ate and got back over to Belt. Guess how long it took me to eat? 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Plus, I went to what? The bathroom again. The bathroom again. The family room again. And why? You're disabled. I'm disabled and I need more room to go to the bathroom, right? So it's easier for me to use the family room because there's 2 toilets in there, one for a kid and one for an adult, right? And again, I could lock the door. And again, use the bathroom. Use the bathroom. And do number 2, right? See, I need a little bit more room to do number 2 than number 1, right? So anyway, like I said, right, I do all that and get back before 12:30, right? Then I'm waiting for her till, 1:30, 1:30. So then I'm sitting in the parking lot waiting for her an additional 30 minutes, right? And she lied and said she wouldn't keep me out another 2 hours, and she did. So I had to go in there and get her the second 2 hours. All right? Even if it's 50 minutes, right? All right? And like I told you, right, when we got to the Home Depot, I dropped her off. But then I was seeing if I can get a parking place at the Walmart. But it was filled, right? So I went on back and parked, right? And then I'm again waiting for her a few minutes there, right? And again, then finally I go in and get me a Mellow Yellow in the Slim Jim. And it's 3:21. That's another, 2 hours? Try longer, right? 12:51 to 2:55 is how long? 2 hours. Right. 2:55 to 3:21 is how many minutes? Right. 26. So, right? Right. So whatever's going on, I lost another hour of time at the mall. After I went in there to go get her and sat down. And the reason I had to sit down is she was getting something, again, from the shoe place, right, downstairs, after she supposedly bought something else upstairs, right. And again, I lost time again while waiting for her again, right, of at least an hour or so, counting driving home, right, to the Home Depot. And to make sure I couldn't get a parking place in the Walmart, right? And then get because I wanted to buy some milk, but I decided to get it at the Food Line, right? So I went and parked again to see if I could find the handicap place, and I did. This time at Home Depot, right? So I again parked, waited for Miss Sarah thing, right? Again, another few minutes, right? And then went in and, like I said, got my little thing, right? But guess what time it is? It's dead, 3:21. 3:21. That's not only enough time on the Sunday to drive from the Oglethorpe Mall to Home Depot. And, but wait for her an additional 5 minutes and still lose an hour. If I went into the mall at 2, right? And we left at 2:55, right? Because I'm not paying attention to it, right? I'm just waiting on her, right? Now, yes, there's a bunch of pretty girls around me, right? One girl's with this South African mixed boy, right? One girl was kind of in some sexy sweats, kind of green, right? And other than that, no, right? I'm trying to wait on Sarah. Well, let me tell you something. I'm not married to you. I'm not trying to have sex with you, right? I don't see you as my wife, even if you want to have sex with me. And I can't tell you no or something, right? And you won't listen, right? You gotta make it till you're 99 or older. You can't just put yourself as my wife. No woman can really, but come on, right? You at least gotta believe what I'm telling you is the truth and not pretend you're the one when you're not the one, right? And you're pretending, right? Like John and James asked if they were worthy to be baptized with the same baptism Jesus was baptized with, right? When they were asking him who would be the greatest, and somehow it fell on James and John, right? That they would be the greatest next to Jesus in the kingdom of heaven, but he said, no, it's not given to you to do that. So that's why John again brings up the two witnesses in Revelation chapter 11 and 12. And one of us is what? Caught up to the throne of God in heaven. Meaning what? How does a prophet see the throne of God in heaven? How is he caught up to it? In a dream like Joseph had, right? Except, of course, you can't have the sun, the moon, and the 12 stars or the 12 sheaves bow down to you. You're being caught up to heaven in a dream, right? You can't see it any other way either. Not the throne of God. Not the throne of God. You can't see it in the vision, right? Because you would still be on the earth, right? First. But in a dream, you can be caught up to the throne, stand before the throne, see the light in the throne, right? In a cloudy area, and then wake up a few seconds later, and you just been caught up to the throne of God in heaven, right? In your mind, at least, right? For 3 seconds to 5. Is that enough time? Is that enough time to see it? Right. If you're caught up to it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now that means, like Christ, I'm in the spirit of Hamashiach, right? Though I'm not the Hamashiach, that's still Jesus. I'm just a Mashiach to myself, because anybody can be a Mashiach, right? Even David and all the kings of Israel were Mashiachs, right? But there was Hamashiach, the Messiah. And if Ha-Yah means the all, Hu-He-Akkad, Yahweh, Hu-He-Akkad. What does that mean? The male and female are Akkad in Hamashiach Yeshua. No. Yahushua is the true name from Eliyahu. And Yahu is the name Moses used. And that's why Eliyahu ran from Jezebel when she called on the Elohim to make him as one of her prophets, and ran from her. Afraid, what? of her. And the feminine name of God. But the divine is divine because it's masculine and feminine, right? But that name, right, is also why the Jewish men don't use it. It's like, again, the doctor being the mother and the patient being someone she can't operate on, right? because it's unethical or something, right? And again, right, she has to get what's called stand-in, right? Or to recuse herself, right? From doing the job, right? Like I said, you get the point, though. If you want to get in, you can knock on the window. That's the quickest way, right? If you don't, you can knock on the front door, but I might not hear you. I might see through that.